Hi, I'm Doug Hempstead from the Ottawa Sun, and we're joined with Susan Sharing, who is the Ottawa Sun's City Hall Bureau. She knows more about these folks than I do. You're not the entire bureau. You just sit at the bureau, which is a lovely little room. I've been there myself.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
A lot of change tonight, Susan. There's 10 councillors have changed, plus one, Jim Watson, a new mayor. What is the most surprising one in your experience?
Well, I think what's most surprising is the amount of change. We knew that we were going to get 4 new councillors because 4 people were leaving, but to have 6 people take on an incumbent and beat them, for myself, I was unaware that there was sort of so much discontent in Rideau Vanier, where George Bedard has gone down to the hands of Matthew Fleury. That surprises me. It was a tight race, but I mean, it's across the city from one end to the other. There's a lot of change. There's this sort of common thinking that, you know, you can't beat an incumbent, but tonight clearly shows you can. I mean, Glenn Brooks beat soundly in Rito Goldberg by Scott Moffat, who ran against him last time. Stephen Blais out in Cumberland. You know, and I think what's really interesting is that the people who won, who managed to beat the incumbent, they worked like dogs, going door to door, campaigning, shopping malls, community events. These guys worked hard, and I think it's going to send a really clear message to the other people, the other incumbents sitting around the table.
And here where we are now, we're in Kitchissippi ward. This was Christine Ledman's ward, and it is, I guess, technically for a little more than another month. But now we have
Catherine Hobbs.
Catherine Hobbs coming in. She was here just a few moments ago saying hello to Jim Watson. What kind of transition are people here in Kitchissippi ward going to see with her?
I think, the more you cover council, you get to actually like city councillors. And I liked Christine Ledman, but she just wasn't as strong as people expected. And I don't think she handled several files as strongly as she should have. Catherine Hobbs is an absolute go-getter. Like many of the new people coming in, it's going to be fascinating to watch. Catherine Hobbs is a business person, and she worked this campaign, and I'm not surprised, but I feel a bit badly for Christine. But
so what do we have now? Jim has pitched himself as the consensus builder. Is that going to be a challenge? Do we have a more conservative council? Do we have a more split council? Is it any different really at all? What is it now that he has to work with? Yeah,
no, the council is definitely a little bit to the right of where it was. But I think it's interesting that given Watson has a very strong mandate. I don't know what his final numbers were. They were 48, 49% last time I saw. But I think it's a really strong message to some of these incumbents. You've got to work, because they know that 6 of their colleagues have been tossed. Right. That's an amazing number for a council that they said you couldn't beat an incumbent. And so these people are going to be willing to work. You've got Mark Taylor, who, as you said, beat Alex Cullen. You've got Stephen Blais. You've got Tim Tierney, who beat Michelle Belmer. These people have made promises, and these guys are keen, and they're hard workers, and they're gonna want to make their mark.
And perhaps what we may see now moving forward is a council that we don't have these long incumbents. Maybe this year, for the next election, we'll go, yeah, we did change it next time. Maybe this will be the new normal.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to be a long-time incumbent, but it's bad when you start taking the constituents for granted, and I think clearly that's what happened here. Yeah.
In the meantime, we're going to get to reprogramming our BlackBerries so that we can get everybody's new names in there, get some new phone numbers, build some consensus ourselves. From Kitchissippi Ward at Jim Watson's headquarters, the mayor-elect, I'm Doug Hempstead for the Ottawa Sun.